We have an awesome episode planned for you today, diving into my experience with dancing with the Sioux Falls Stars. And I get to welcome my dance partner, Magen, to the show. So let's dive in all about dancing with the stars, and the experience that we had a little behind the scenes. Let's go. Well, welcome to the show, Magen. So excited to have you on here. Tell you what, time flies.
True.
We just got done doing Dancing with the Stars, it feels like, but now looking at it, it's like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Wow, really? A month already?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So I wanted to take some time to chat with you. You are the dancing professional.
Mm-hmm.
I am apparently the star.
The celebrity.
The celebrity, the celeb.
Yes.
But what is it that you do? What is your dancing?
Me?
Yeah, your
like
dancing.
My everyday?
Well, yeah. But first, let's even talk about when did you get into dancing?
Like when I was 3. I've been dancing since I was 3. I took classes all the way up. I was probably 18 or 19 when I met somebody that asked about me teaching. And I've been teaching ever since.
Really?
Yep. So I have the studio that I started teaching at like 18, 19.
Yeah.
I took some time off because I had college. I had, some military stuff. And then I came back and bought it from her, and I've been running it ever since. So.
Cool. And what is that studio called?
The Hip Hop Shop.
Hip Hop Shop. And it's in
Del Rapids.
Okay, Del Rapids.
We just moved locations. So we've been in the same building for 20 plus years, and we just moved into the Rapid Fitness building, which is on Garfield. So
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. So now your location's brand new.
Brand new.
And have you already started classes in the new?
Yeah, we did. We started October 15th, and we're still not completely put together yet. So
Sure.
We still have sound panels pushed up against the wall. They're not hung yet. I started classes when the mirrors were still just like kind of leaning against the wall. So little baby steps, we're getting there. But yeah, brand new. It's been fun.
Absolutely. And so you got into dancing when you were 3.
Mm-hmm.
You've been dancing kind of ever since.
I have.
And dancing, which I'm not a dancer.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you are.
I am now.
Yes.
I am now. I wasn't a dancer.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. Like
it's so much fun.
Very fun. It's very, I don't know, therapeutic, if you will.
Freeing, liberating.
Yeah. Just being able to listen to the music and move your body. And what was it though that inspired you to want to make this a career?
I don't know if I was inspired to make it a career. I think it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
I just did what felt right. I did what was fun. The opportunities presented themselves kind of slowly over time. I didn't anticipate it happening. It just kind of, it literally fell into place.
Yeah.
And it's been, I feel really lucky because of it. But yeah, it was never really a set out plan. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. What would you say is something that dance, like obviously fitness for me is an outlet, and it's also a platform for me to prove to myself that I can do hard things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely like what fitness does for me. What would you say is something that dance really does for you, or that you've even seen it do in some of your students?
Well, I think a big thing is confidence. I mean, especially I have little girls that will start at 3 and they'll dance. Maybe they'll dance all the way through senior year. Maybe they'll stop in middle school and pursue other sports or whatever. In the small town, it's kind of my studio is very I would say it's more recreational, less competitive. So I have girls that do everything, but I think it just gives you that confidence to push yourself, to work within a team dynamic, to do scary things, getting out in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
To do something that are you going to succeed at it? There's a chance it's going to work, maybe. And I think that can be just part of life in general, and carries over into, like you said, even the like physical fitness, which I completely agree. I'm right there with you, but it's just that confidence to push your body to try something literally in front of a crowd.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. I remember the night of the dance, the night of the show, if you will. We were backstage, and you're like, we've been practicing, but like, are you good in front of people? Because right, we've been practicing just in front of nobody.
Exactly.
And so getting out there in front of, how many people were there?
I don't know. I don't know if I ever heard a count, which is interesting.
But it was like the district was packed.
It was packed. It was a sold out show. Every single seat was sold in full. So on top of probably the volunteers that were there too. So I mean, it was a big crowd.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I mean, I do this all the time, and I was nervous. So it was.
My wife did tell me, she's like, you looked a little stiff, babe. I was like, hey, I'll work on it.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it was so much fun. So I'd love to be able to get into
Hmm.
some of them watching this or listening to this. They maybe have never heard of Dancing with the Stars,
True.
which I never had until I got asked. How about
Hmm.
you? Had you heard of
I
this
had
before?
I had heard about it. I guess I didn't realize it was still happening. I had heard about it years ago
Yeah.
when I think it used to be a benefit for a different, I'm not even sure, but I had heard about it then. I thought it kind of disappeared with
Yeah.
2020, so that it had been going on.
Yeah.
I was
And I do
excited.
think that kind of during 2020 and that COVID year, I think that there was like a break that
It
was
sounds like,
taken
yeah,
because
maybe
it sounds like that's when after 2020, a different charity
charity.
kind of got behind it.
I think so.
And so now, for any of you that are watching or listening, now it is a benefit to support Empire Mental Health Support here in town and in the surrounding area to help just mental health and being able to raise awareness for it. And I tell you what, I thought it was an awesome event.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I've been to so many fundraising events,
Hmm.
and so many times and they're all great. You go, you hear their mission, you hear the work that they do, and you hear why they do it, and
Hmm.
it's very inspiring. But obviously, these organizations need to raise money, and
Hmm.
so at a normal charity event, there's then a component of fundraising that goes with it. And this felt like such for 3 hours,
Yeah.
like you were engaged and watching something, and like just a fun night. I would and will go watch for sure
I'm actually
again.
excited to go back. I'm
Yeah.
honestly, I hope I'm involved somehow next
Yeah.
year. I have said 1,000 times it's probably one of my favorite nights of this entire year.
Yeah.
Again, we're saying it's 3 hours, but
Yep.
really it wasn't. It was like three
Right.
months for us. I mean, we
Yep.
put in a lot of time,
Yep.
so it was an ongoing thing, and it still is. I mean, it brings
Yeah.
people together. It was. What a great cause, super fun, great.
Yeah.
Everything about it was just. It was a blast.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, to that point, you mentioned to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bit ago, we had a fun workout with some of the other dancers.
Rub it
You
in. I
missed
missed
it.
it.
I know. Rub it in. We'll do it again, though. We'll do
I
it
hope
again.
so. Okay, good.
But and then even too, my wife and I were out the other night, and we ended up running into you and Clinton.
Yeah.
And it's these connections and these relationships that
Mhm.
you make that I don't know that we would have ever made them otherwise.
I don't know how it would have happened.
Yeah.
Not to the easy level that it did.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not as I don't know, not as connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like how did you find out about Dancing with the Stars? When was the
How did-
first time it's like, hey, you're going to be involved, or hey, would you be involved? How'd that look?
So, well, Raina ropes me into
Okay.
Raina Rasmussen, owner of she does the Lyra. She's part of the Lyra dance company. She ropes me into all kinds of crazy things. She
Because you're
texted-
part of Lyra, correct?
I am. Yes,
Okay.
yes, I dance with Lyra. And she had texted, "Hey, is anybody available or interested in being a professional? We need more dancers." And I thought, well, let me check my schedule. If it works, sure, I'll do it. So I said
Yeah.
yes. And then of course it wasn't too long after that. She's like, "Well, what about Clinton? Do you think he'd be game?" And
Yeah.
he right out of the gate was like, "I can't do that.
Yeah.
Nope. And again, of course, we won't ruin the surprise. Everybody knows he ends up winning the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Geez.
I drug him in, forced him to do it, and then he kicked
And
my
then
butt.
you won it.
All right. But yeah, I think Raina is the one that told me about it. And again, I'd heard of it, but I did do a little research when she brought it up just to see,
Yeah.
kind of find out as much as I could. Well,
Yeah.
not really. I found out as much as I needed, I should
Yeah.
say.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. To that point, kind of same thing.
Yeah.
I've got a good friend, Tony Bartholomew.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a client at FitBody. He helped us with our home mortgage,
And part of Lyra.
and he's also part of Lyra.
Yes.
Yeah. From what I found out, I think that we get very ingrained into our own little bubble,
Yes.
and the world is huge. Like the world is so big, and there's so
Mhm.
many things going on that we're just oblivious to.
Hmm.
And so this dance world,
Yes.
I'm oblivious to it at this point. I didn't know anything about the dance world. Of course, I've seen some of the different dance buildings, and obviously I know dance is a thing. Like my daughters danced when they were young.
Hmm.
And so I knew Tony was a dancer. And all of a sudden, Tony, after one of the workouts, he's like, CJ,
Yeah.
I've got something for you.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what is it? Like, tell me more.
Mhm.
And he's like, well, I don't even remember what he was on, but he's like, I was on something where they were talking about finding local stars that would be willing to participate in a Dancing with the Stars.
Mhm.
And I told them that they need to reach out to you. I'm like, Tony, I don't dance. And he's like, no, you don't have to dance. You'll learn that.
Yeah, you will have to dance, but
Right. But now in this moment,
Yeah.
you'll learn that. But you can have fun in front of people. And he's like, I just think you'd have a blast. I'm like, well, hey, put my name. He's like, I already put your name in. So I wasn't asking for permission. I was more so telling you that I did it. I was like, oh, perfect. So then I get this email, and it's from the event company, and they're like, hey, you've been nominated to be, one of the stars in Dancing with the Stars. Please let us know by whatever date if you're available and willing to do this. And first thought, I was like, is this something, like you said, like will my schedule allow? Like, will I be able to do it? Also, too, a little bit of thought that went through my head is like, my wife gonna be like cool with this? Like just dance? Like I don't dance with her.
Yeah.
Let alone like
I'm
try
to.
I'm gonna go dance with somebody I've never met before. So I talked with her, and she's like, go for it, give it a shot. And so then all of a sudden, some time went by, and we end up at Pin Studios, and that was the first night that I had met you. And that night, all of a sudden, we get paired.
Yes.
And then we have to go take photos with each other.
Like up close and personal. Yeah. Like, hi, can we? That was definitely like, hey, stranger.
Yeah, that was like probably the most odd part of the whole experience.
I completely agree. It was exciting. It was fun, but at the same time, it was like just diving right in.
I don't even know you, and yet I have to like hold you for this.
Let's pose intimately.
Yeah. I'm like,
agree.
So that was definitely odd. But from there, we then got kind of like the schedule of events, and it was like, you need to start your practices, and they gave us kind of like a
so apparently guidelines, because the 20-hour rule was apparently just a guideline.
Yeah, because
everybody cheated, but
let me tell you, I don't like. Come on, Clinton, were you 20 hours or
way over?
Geez, busting them. But so we then laid out a practice schedule, and we met at do you say Ballerina? Ballerina. And that is what Raina owns. Yes. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. What are the chances that Raina owns Ballerina? Come on.
Clever. It's very clever.
Really. I love it. But so we met there and we start dancing. And what was your what thoughts were going through your head? You're gonna meet me for the first time at a dance practice. Like, what's going through your head? Does this guy know how to dance? Like, what are the things?
I think I was handling it like I would any sort of like first class.
Okay.
I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know what you can do. I had kind of like a few guidelines that I'm like, I'm going to teach him this, but really I'm going to be seeing what you can handle and what you can do. Just because I had ideas like what I wanted to do as far as choreo and that sort of thing, but I needed to know what you were capable of doing. So I think I treated it like you were a toddler coming to your first class.
I think I need to get treated like a toddler more often.
You were fine.
It was good. And I think to that point, one of the things that I really learned, and I even mentioned this like in the little interview thing that we did, but all the time as it pertains to Fit Body and helping our team and helping our clients, it's like making sure that they know when you need help, you need to ask, and you need to make sure that you are putting yourself out there and asking the questions so that you can get better. Yeah. And it wasn't easy. Like I say that all the time, but it wasn't easy for me to say, hey, Megan, how do I do this thing with my feet? Or I just wanted to get it. Yeah. I wanted to just be able to do it. And I didn't want to show you or let you see that I couldn't get it. And so I had to so that thought process, like, man, I bet our clients or our people that we're teaching, like they're going through that same mentality of like, how do I ask and feel comfortable and okay with like, I know you show me this every practice, but explain the ball change again and where my foot is supposed to go. And it almost felt like, I know I should know this, so why should I ask?
But also, I think what you're really good at is imitating. Like you can, in the moment, just imitate anything I do. That doesn't mean if I'm standing there and I'm not doing it with you, that you remember how to do it.
Right.
And I didn't realize that, I think, right away, because you'd get it. I'm like, oh, you got it.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, but you could only do it when you were watching me and doing it. I didn't get that quite right at the beginning. So that was definitely a learning curve. But
learning that style. So I think, as it pertains to anyone that might be, listening to this, it is going to be uncomfortable to ask for help. But if you truly want to make progress in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, it's going to be more uncomfortable to remain the same and to remain kind of not fulfilling your goal.
Yeah, or not having the clarity of what you're supposed to be doing.
Correct.
Yeah, if you're not even doing it right, what are you really accomplishing?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So ask for help, ask often,
yes.
and that's how you'll be able to keep on getting better. So we had 20 hours to get this dance dialed in. And when you came to me, you already had the song, because you had like messaged me like, what do you think about some of these artists?
Well, I
or
think
songs?
the night that we met,
Yeah.
I think I asked kind of your style.
Oh, sure.
Like what kind of music you liked, and
Yep.
then kind of looked through after that. But yeah.
Yep. So we had the song picked out, and we did a song by Eminem and who? Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that song. What was it called?
The Way You Lie?
Yeah, The Way You Lie.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's two versions. There's one that's just an Eminem version,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one that's Eminem and
There's
Rihanna.
actually 3 versions.
Oh, really?
Because there's a part 1 and a part 2, and we
Oh.
technically used part 2.
Oh, gotcha.
So
okay.
yeah, it's one of those complicated. Yeah,
Oh,
lots of. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But so you put this song together. How do you then choreograph a dance?
I don't know how to answer that question. I've been asked this before. How do you? I don't know. I depending on the style. Sometimes I have elements I know I already want in there.
Yeah.
That I just. But sometimes I just visualize and kind of. I don't know. I don't. It's like. I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not really sure.
Right.
I just do it.
Yeah. Are there some dance teachers that cannot choreograph or
yeah, I think that there's
okay.
a definite difference between being a choreographer and a dance teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Or being a dance coach. Like
sure.
A lot of teams actually will hire other choreographers, and then the coaches will just do the cleaning and the perfecting.
Got it.
You know, but as far as choreography is definitely a separate thing.
Yeah. Do you enjoy that part of it?
I do. I've been asked that before too. Like, what do you like better, doing choreography, doing the dance, doing the teaching? I would say my favorite classes are when I'm teaching choreography.
Yeah.
I do definitely love doing the choreography because it's new, it's something fresh and exciting.
And it's your thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and
it's your brain.
And that's why I do love doing my own choreography. I've never hired anyone to do anything. And I coach cheer, I've done musical theater, I've done all kinds of things. I feel more attached and more accomplished and more part of it when it's my own creation versus like paying or hiring somebody else to do it. So, and it helps me I've definitely grown and changed as a choreographer. It's still a skill I'm constantly trying to grow and get better at because it's not
What
easy.
is something that you can do to grow in that area?
So I've found, especially from like being part of Lyra and having more just connections with other dancers, choreographers, it's inspiring. You kind of end up you end up in your little bubble, and every choreographer has a style, but you don't want to fall into like a stagnant, just like obvious, like, oh, look, that's Megan's choreography again.
Yeah.
You want to still have new and exciting things. So I think being a student, learning new dances helps me be inspired.
It's like almost like you do something, it's like, man, I want to incorporate that.
Or it'll just spark something else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I never thought of that. And maybe I could try this too. Today you have constant access through social media, TikTok, there's YouTube, the internet, everywhere. Anytime you have a roadblock, like I would have back 20 years ago, I'd just be doomed. Now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to pull up a YouTube video.
Well, and that's the cool thing about that is even at one of our practices, we were going through some of like the saved videos that you had on some of your socials. Yes. And it's like, I seen this couple dancing, doing this thing. Mm-hmm. Let's see if we could
try something like this even. Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's to that point, I do feel like that's something really good for people to take away from listening to this is like, if you hit a roadblock and you haven't Googled like how,
Google,
like
for real.
just use Google, like step one, Google whatever problem you're having and start there.
Exactly.
But so many people, they're like, oh, how do I do this? And then that's when they give up because they don't even take the first step of like, just Google.
Seriously, there's access to information at your fingertips all the time.
Yeah.
Like, look it up. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Very cool. And so, we got this dance down. We had 20 hours. We honestly really didn't get to meet the other dancers.
Not really.
Until the night before. And that wasn't even part of the thing.
No, we planned it separately.
We planned a little night just to get together with some of the dancers. Not everybody could make it. But then we met. It was like 9:00
it was
on
an all-day thing.
Saturday. And then all day. And then the performance started at what, 6? 7?
I think the social hour was like 6 to 7. Yeah. It started at 7.
So it was like an all-day thing, but it was such a fun day.
It was a blast.
Making connections. And we practiced so hard and did the best we could up until the day. But then once that day hit, you only could do what you could do.
You're prepared as you're going to be.
Yep.
Exactly.
And whoever won.
Exactly.
And it was so fun to do that. But you will never execute better than your level of preparation.
Agree.
Right?
I think sometimes when it comes to performing, an audience can bring out elements that weren't already there because you're just
this is true.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just because you're feeling that extra energy and, it might even just be the showmanship part of it.
Sure.
But it does, for me anyways, an audience brings out a little extra in me.
Extra flair.
And actually, I've learned a lot about myself as a coach because the things that I have coached and preached to my kids, I found myself going, okay, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get the girls to do this for you all the time, and look at you not doing
Yep.
it. So it's been eye opening. It was it was such a great experience all the way around for
Yeah.
every part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and so maybe next year you'll be a dancer again.
I hope so.
I know for me, I'll definitely attend the event. If there
Hmm.
is somewhere to serve or volunteer or help, I would be more than willing and wanting to do that because it was such a good event. Like you said, the connections. Let's dive in though a little bit to just the hip hop shop,
Okay.
and let's dive in a little bit because after we got done, something that I did even talk with my wife is like, man, we should find places we could go take dance lessons or
Yeah.
and there's from I believe the Shrine downtown
Hmm.
has some things on certain nights.
Hmm.
I also found and even another couple told me about this. There's some app and I Show Her Off. Have you heard of this?
No.
So online,
Really?
it's called like Show Her Off, and it's some guy and his wife, and they created like at home dance
Oh, that's cool.
videos
And
that
they're
you can
free?
do. You got to pay for
Oh,
them.
I was gonna say,
Yep. So you
wow.
you pay and you can subscribe to different things.
Hmm.
And I was looking in my YouTube, and I actually had years ago bought a at home program and never did it.
Oh,
But
wow.
so, and then I went to look into it and I had lost my login and whatnot, but it said that they changed over to an actual app based platform. Message us here. So I
Okay.
messaged him and he messaged me back and got me a new login. So now I can log in and I've got like a little
Cool.
platform that, and it's like move your furniture out of the way, turn it on the
Okay,
YouTube,
so
and
wait,
then
what's it called again?
Show Her Off.
Show Her Off. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to remember that. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's
Show
a
Her Off.
cool.
But so there's that. But so the hip hop shop, it's in Del Rapids.
So, well, I was gonna say, speaking of that, I was just talking to Clinton about this a couple days ago. I would say a couple years ago, I did a couple classes that were for partner dancing,
Yeah.
and they were really a huge hit. I would end up having to add a class every time I'd advertise it, and I haven't done it because I've been so focused on the new studio
Yeah.
and other things. But we were just talking about trying to do one before the new year at the hip
Yeah.
hop shop. We would love it for you guys to come. That
Yeah,
would
that'd be
so much
great.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd have a blast. And I would be, you let me know when, as
Hmm.
long as my wife and I are available, we're there.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I will go according to let me know your schedule because I'll
Okay.
make sure you can be
Yeah.
there.
Sweet. I love it. I love it. See, and that also right there is the power of connection.
Yes.
Because we're willing to like, we're willing to help each other out.
Mhm.
And life is about like,
Well, plus that would be so much fun to come to Dell's and just be able to say like, okay, here's the winner of Dancing with the
Yeah.
Stars helping me teach, and here's
Yep.
the
The
my
loser.
partner, the other loser.
Here's the other loser.
Here's the losers of Dancing with. Yeah. No, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, here's my partner. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that would be really fun.
That'd be a lot of fun.
So
Have
yeah.
you and Clinton ever taught anything together?
Yeah, this partner dancing. We
Okay.
did probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those classes.
Oh, okay.
A couple years ago. Was it not probably not last dance season, but this season before.
Okay.
And then, like I said, last season was just so busy with this switch over, and it's
Yeah.
been kind of a crazy year. But
So at Hip Hop Shop, what is your like? Who's the target client, or who do you averagely
okay,
work
so
with?
on a typical like
Yeah.
every weekly base, my season is October through May.
Okay.
It's very recreational. I have one little competitive team that is like 7 to 11, and then I take my like middle school, high schoolers to
7 to 11, like years old. Okay.
Yep. And then I take my middle school and high school dance teams to like a couple super local dance competitions, but otherwise it's extremely recreational. It's
Okay.
really low commitment. It's according to like age instead
Yep.
of like danceability, because then you're with your friends. And so they just come once a week for a lesson. We learn a variety of styles of
Yeah.
dance, and then learn a couple
What's the
routines.
youngest you take?
3.
3.
Well, they can be almost 3, so they're like
Okay.
on the edge.
Yeah,
There's
like
I think it's like a
turning.
December cutoff or
Sure.
something. So
Okay. And
Yep.
then what about the oldest?
the oldest, anybody that would want to do a solo, I'd take them on, but
Okay.
usually typically it's seniors in high school.
Okay. So it is mainly like school age.
Yes. Yep.
For the hip hop shop.
Mhm.
Okay. And you have a couple different dances that you or competitions that you take them to.
Yes.
And what styles of dance?
I do. Okay, so primarily all over the place, but primarily I would say my style is a blend of there's some ballet and lyrical.
Okay.
Jazz is a huge. I love jazz. Just kind of like some modern contemporary. Sometimes I do some. I would call it musical theater style stuff a little bit here.
What
and there.
was speaking of style of dance? I've been
Mhm.
asked a couple times,
Mhm.
and I don't know the answer.
Okay.
What style was our dance?
Ooh, our dance would.
Because I feel like it was a mix.
It was a mix. It was I would call it Megan's style.
Megan
Like
style.
seriously, it kind of blends. It blends those, lyrical. There's some lyrical elements. There was some ballet elements. There was definitely some jazz elements. I gave you a little bit of hip hop elements. just kind of a blend. I don't
Yeah.
know if it could be really described,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay. And is that normal for like a dance to have multiple styles blended into one or not really?
I think so.
Yeah.
Um, I would say that especially over the course of my years teaching, um, it used to be very, like every style was in a box. Like this is what made you be. This was ballet. This was lyrical. This was pom. This was hip. And I think they still do that in some competition form.
Yeah.
But as far as when you're watching, the world of dance, or you're watching, Dancing with the Stars, I typically see that it's a blend of styles.
Blend. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. So hip hop shop is going to be mainly your high school or school aged
Yes.
student,
Hmm.
but just now dance in general.
Hmm.
Is there an age where it's like you're probably too old to start
No,
dancing?
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. You could be 106. You could start dancing.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, think of Dancing with the Stars and how different all of us were as far
Yeah.
as partners go.
Yeah.
Everybody had something to offer in a completely different way.
Yep.
And we were. I mean, our ages were all over the
All
place,
over the
from
board.
low 20s to 60s. I
Yep.
mean, it was
It was
all over
awesome.
the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Okay. And so like for me, the dancing world, again, I said we live in these little bubbles. So
Mhm.
I lived in a bubble and it did not include dancing.
Mhm.
Dancing wasn't part of my bubble.
Yes.
So I didn't know what even, well, number one, I don't even know if I wanted to even look.
Mhm.
But if I wanted to look, because now that I have experience in dancing,
Mhm.
it's like, hey, I'm interested in like maybe doing a class here or there, but maybe not like committing to signing up for a whole program. Where do people look for this stuff?
So I would say, well, again,
Google?
I was about to say you should take your own advice and
Google.
Google it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why I even told you a really great thing is like the Shrine. I've done it before. I mean, what is it? Does it cost even to get in?
I don't know. I don't think
It might
so.
even be free. I don't even think
Yeah.
there's a cover charge. And there's always a dance professional that's there that at the start of any style, they'll play a song. They'll have that, professional showing you the basic step.
Yeah.
And then there will be couples there that are doing just the basic step around the room. And you've got couples there that clearly are pros at what they're
Yeah.
doing, and they're throwing in all kinds of tricks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the biggest thing is to start somewhere where you're comfortable, but it is hard to find. I think 2020 did a number on dance studios around here.
Sure.
So it is really actually hard to find studios that teach just partner style
Yeah.
dancing. They're out there.
What
But
about like even just going to dance shows? If you wanted to just be a spectator
Mhm.
and go watch dancing, because I've also found out now with like Lyra and some of the different stuff, like you guys are dancing all over the place.
There's every so Lyra dances. We dance all over. I mean, all throughout the year. They're doing at the pavilion. I think it's in. I'm not even sure what month. Gosh, they are. I should know this, but
Yeah.
they are doing a live and local at the pavilion
Okay.
this season. We've danced at award shows at the pavilion. They've grouped up with, well, there's like Headlights theater company or dance. I'm not even sure that Headlights is what I know they're called.
Okay.
They do like pop up
Yeah.
all over the place. I've seen them pop up at random like just festivals, or
Yeah.
I mean it's constant. There's things going on if you I guess check events calendars for
Yeah.
Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's intertwined with other events. There's arts award shows. There's
Yeah.
musical theater. I mean, the Pavilion and the Orpheum are two really big
There's a lot of
spots.
dances happening there.
There's stuff going on there that has at least a lot of times to do with dance. A lot. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of the time. And so I would check the Pavilion's website. There's so much happening there. Downtown Sioux Falls, like I said, they will have pop-ups at just even random Hello Hi, where we ran
Oh,
into each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
They've done a pop-up dance at that location.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just random all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And so with that, it's like sometimes too we have to look
Mhm.
for well for what we're looking for. You
Yeah.
have to go out there and find it. It's not going to just be out there. But I feel like so many times I've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it. Like there's nothing to do.
There's
right?
so much to
There's
do.
so much to do, and so we've got to find it. But I was telling my wife like it would be so fun just to go, have dinner and then go to watch a show
Mhm.
of dancing. And it's so available if you just look for it.
It's everywhere. I will say I think that I have tickets to one show or another almost every weekend.
Really?
For people to say there's nothing to do in Sioux Falls, that's not true at all. There is constant
Yeah.
things to be doing in Sioux Falls. So much so that I have to say no
Say no
sometimes.
to a
Like
lot
I
of
need
it,
a
yeah.
day off. Yeah,
Yep.
there's so much going on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Something just came to my mind. I was thinking with the hip hop shop, and you had said that like you would like sometimes you do 101. You do
I do.
101? Okay.
I do. Yep, I do
And
solos.
is that any age?
I
Or
would do
that's
any age. I have never had an adult ask. I've put it out there. I've
yeah,
said 0 to 99, you can
yeah,
come.
yeah.
But of course,
What
I've
about the
only.
106?
Well, yeah, I
Oh,
suppose so.
okay.
I don't know a whole lot of 106 year
Me
olds.
either.
So,
Me
but
either.
if they are interested,
Yeah.
I would take them. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. And what does that look like? Like you go to like if I wanted to do that,
hmm
how would I do that?
Well, I have.
I mean, I would just talk to you.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say, well, you would, but the best way to probably get in touch with me because I'm my own PR, I'm my own
yeah,
web designer, I'm my own everything.
yeah,
But I am on Facebook at Hip Hop
sure.
Shop, and then I'm on Instagram at DR, which is Del Rapids, but Doctor Hip Hop Shop is what people
You know
will
what?
think it is.
I've seen that
Yeah,
often, and I
yeah,
thought it was doctor.
yeah. But it's actually
Knowing,
Del Rapids,
yep,
but it's catchy because of the doctor, so
yeah,
it's fine. But yeah, and on there's a link to my website that
okay,
has all the information that anybody would want to know to
sure.
sign up
And
for
so we can
anything.
just submit,
hmm
and then you just like pay per session type of thing,
Yep,
probably.
yep.
Yeah, very cool. That is awesome. And something that maybe a lot of people don't know about you is that I believe this to be true.
Uh-oh.
You also have coached fitness or
I do.
trained
I
fitness,
actually do.
and you still do.
I do. Yep.
Okay.
I teach fitness classes Tuesdays and Fridays at the gym in Del Rapids, the
Yeah.
same gym that my
And that's
studio
Rapid
is
Fitness.
in. Rapid Fitness.
Because
Yep.
that whole gym got a whole new, like the whole gym
They
is new.
they just added on to an entire side. Well, there's still the main area that's been there, but they just did an entire addition.
Oh, okay.
And so that's like
So they just added on, they didn't move?
mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
They just added on. So yeah, it was kind of an L-shaped building, and now
Yeah.
it's a square.
Oh, okay.
So they just
Filled
filled
it
in.
in.
Yep, filled
Yep.
it in. And
Okay.
my studio is in one of the corners. So
Oh, very cool.
Mhm.
I've seen some photos of it, and it
Yeah.
does seem so open, nice,
tall ceilings,
brand new. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
everything is really it's awesome. Yes.
And you were in Rapid Fitness before as well, or no?
No,
No.
I was actually in a strip mall, like across town,
Oh, okay.
which was nothing wrong with it. It was
Yeah.
perfectly fine, but there's just some perks to being
Yeah.
at this location.
Yep.
And so, yeah. mhm.
Very cool. So what do you normally teach when it comes to fitness on Tuesdays and Fridays?
So
you said?
yep, Tuesdays and Fridays. My class, I would call it like a Pilates yoga meets like some strength. So I do like some light weights, and it's, you
Yeah.
know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Stretching.
And how long have you done that?
Well, I took a huge hiatus, but I started doing that probably 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I did that for a few years, took a break. When I took over the dance studio, I cut out the
Yeah.
workout portion to focus on the dance portion.
Yeah.
And I just never put it back in there. But now I've been teaching at Rapid Fitness for, I'm not even sure, a year.
while.
Maybe
Oh.
not that long. No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
not too long. A year, maybe a little more than a year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Very cool. And so with Rapid Fitness, do you have to have like a membership add-on to go to the classes, or like if you're a member there, you can just attend? How does that
So
work?
that's
Do
a
you
good-
know? Or you don't really know?
I don't because I
Sure.
think I've always, well, and now I just
Yeah.
don't worry about that. But
Yeah.
I think it might have might be
Sure.
an add-on, but
Okay.
there's probably like you can pay a lesser rate just to have the 24-hour access.
Sure.
And then
Or
if
then
you
you-
want to take the classes, it's probably additional.
Sure.
I
Okay.
would say maybe
Yeah.
yeah.
But you don't handle any of that. You just
I know
instruct.
I just teach.
Or teach
Yep,
or
Matt
coach
does
or-
all of that,
yep.
but I do know they're doing all classes are free in November.
Oh,
so
very cool.
If anyone's
Okay.
interested in hearing this in Del Rapids.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Very
Tuesday
cool.
morning, Friday morning,
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Come hang out at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
And how long is it?
It's a 45-minute class.
45 minute?
Mhm.
Okay, very cool. I do feel like we will oftentimes at FitBody, especially in the summer, we'll do like special Saturdays where we
yeah.
bring different types of stuff, whether it be, we've had like Revolution.
Oh, Revolution. Yeah, I love Revolution. Yes.
We had them come and do some yoga stuff.
Mhm.
We do Pound. We had
Cool.
hip hop. There's Janelle was a gal that I met, and she does hip hop fitness.
Cool.
She teaches that in Brandon. I think it's at the Rapid Fitness in Brandon.
Okay,
actually.
yeah.
Because
Okay,
is there a
yeah.
Rapid Fitness in Brandon?
There is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Matt still owns that
Yeah,
also,
Matt,
right?
that's Matt's too.
Okay,
Mhm.
very cool. So we'll bring all those different things. Maybe at some point we'll have to bring in
Yeah. That'd be cool.
a Magen workout into FitBody.
Count me in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool. But I think it is just fun to know that like not working out, the dancing,
Mhm.
it was a workout also. Like
Yeah.
it is a workout.
Mhm.
And I think that so many times I've heard people say like working out isn't for me. But I feel like they just need to
They
try
haven't found
something
the right
different.
workout. They just haven't found the right workout.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Because that is moving your body,
Mhm.
releasing your stress, and really being comfortable in your own body. Like for me, like that's what working out does, is
Mhm.
helps you build confidence in who you are. And dancing is something that definitely even helped me with that, is like, oh, I can learn a whole new thing.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times we don't allow ourselves to enter into the unknown or enter into something new.
We stay in our comfort
Yeah,
zone.
stay in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
And that's how we grow, is when we push that comfort zone, lean out of it.
I totally agree. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I hear that a lot too with people wanting to join the gym or join classes. Like, oh, what if I, well, who cares? You don't know unless you try. Just give it a go. And maybe it isn't for you, but you don't know unless you try it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is awesome. And I just feel like it opens up people's awareness to that dance is out there. Because, like, again, if you're like me and you lived in my little bubble where dance wasn't part of it, I just didn't even know about all the awesome dance opportunities that are out there, from participating in dance to viewing dance to just the connections through dance. And it can become a lifestyle. Like,
totally agree.
This, like, you live it.
Well, and even for me, I'm constantly finding out about new dance related, like, not only opportunities, but like you said, shows, things that I can do as a participant, things I can do as a spectator. I'm still learning all the time about it. Yeah. So it's just, like you said, it's a matter of connections. One connection leads to the next, and you're like, oh, wow, that's happening too. So I love it. And the big thing with the Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls show that we're on is just helping people understand, like, health and fitness looks very different in everybody's life. And it's just about finding what fills your cup and trying different things, because maybe someone out there will try dance and it won't be for them. That's okay. Maybe someone out there will try my style of workouts and that's not for them. That's okay. But it doesn't mean stop. It doesn't mean don't try another thing. It means keep looking until you find that thing that is for you, because that's where you're going to find joy. And that's what life's about, is having joy and having fun doing the things that you like. I agree. And we've talked about this before. Physical activity is not just about having physical wellness. It is, we just talked about the Dancing with the Stars. It is mental wellness too. It's, to me, almost more mental health related than it is physical health. Like, it's such a mental release for me. It's a meditation. It's just a way to get outside of all of my thoughts and focus on something that's productive. And I just think it's so beneficial for anybody and everybody. Yeah. And I didn't really think about this as we were going through leading up to Dancing with the Stars, but kind of just even like right now, as we were even talking about it, for me, when we would go to our practice, they were usually an hour-ish long. And when I was trying to learn the moves or the dance that you were teaching me, or trying to figure out what it is we were doing, I could not and did not think of anything else. Like, all I thought about for 1 hour was dancing and was learning new footwork. And so literally I could be driving to our practice and I'm thinking about the stressors of life, whatever they are, thinking about that. And then we get to dance and you have to turn that off and focus on this dance. And I really do think that it was very therapeutic to turn off life. So many of us live in this rat race of life where it's just go, 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 one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And we never have moments where we can just, you know what, turn off and focus on whatever the simple task is. Yeah. It actually reminds me, this is silly, but it reminds me of yesterday. And I was with my little 2-year-old niece and sitting down and coloring. Yeah. And I was coloring. And and I actually said that to her. Yeah. I said, this is like meditation. Like it's just any way that you can get outside of your actual, like, busy brain and focus on something else is and again, maybe it's coloring, maybe it's not working out, maybe it's coloring, but find something. And it does, and it allows you to break away from the busy and just be in the now. And I think one of the biggest things that I've really been, and I've been telling some of my coaches this even too, as we're talking, because I always have been one to set like big goals. I would set big goals, but then where I have really found that my downfall is I wouldn't celebrate myself or be excited about until I hit a big goal. Oh, yeah. And so what I've really realized, especially over this last little period, and I don't think it was all to do with obviously Dancing with the Stars, but just really going through life, is realizing that, hey, set a big goal and strive for a big goal. But if you want to try and find true happiness, celebrate every day. And even if it's just one step, one tiny step, in any direction towards that goal. Because if you only celebrate once you hit that big goal, like it's not, you're not going to get there because you're going to be defeated. You can find joy and success in every day. You just have to look for it. I'm a huge to-do list maker. Yeah. So I'm make your to-do list. I do. And I'm like, oh, there's that. It's such a satisfaction. And it's like, feels good. Every day I feel like I've been successful some way or another. So yeah. Agreed. And sometimes you got to put things on there that
you're gonna get done. You know that I'm gonna put this thing on there.
I might put shower on there. It
check
still
that
feels
off.
good to cross it off.
It still feels good to win. I put on my daily task list today. Drink all my water. I live in the health and fitness world. I'm a health and fitness. I own a gym, but I put on my daily task list for today. Drink all my water.
Yeah.
And when I get my last bottle of water in, I'm going to check that off, and I'm going to feel good.
Exactly.
And I'm going to feel good about feeling good.
Yes.
And that's,
and a workout can be that too, though, because that's another thing on your to-do list that when you're done with it, it feels good. You accomplished a goal.
Yeah.
You know,
something super goofy. And I think this was actually just last night. I was going to go work out yesterday and I didn't. The kids had the day off from school. And so I didn't go to my normal workout time. And then my wife and I were like, well, let's go to a later one. And then it got to be too late. And we ended up, well, yeah, let's go on a walk. And we didn't go on a walk. And so finally, my wife and I were like, you know what? Let's just I think we ended up doing 50 squats, 10 push-ups, and 25 sit-ups. Like, it was the simplest thing, but we did it and we got done. And it was so tiny, but it's like, you know what? Like, we could have chosen the other option and just sit there and do nothing. So, hey, we did this. And I even said to her, I was like, hey, why don't we incorporate this into multiple nights throughout the week? And it just feels good to move your body a little bit. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And just move your body before you go to bed and you sleep great. So yeah, find the little wins in life.
Little wins, agree.
Yeah, I love that. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking the time, Megan. This is awesome, you guys. We will put in the description of the show links to, I'll try to find a link of our dance. I'm sure we have that.
We have it in video somewhere.
Yep. So we'll put a link to our whole dance so you can watch the whole dance in the description. I'll also put a link to the hip hop shop so that you can find out more about Megan with her social medias and the different stuff if you want to follow that. And I'll tell you, you do a good job on your social media.
Well, thank you. This is a new endeavor, so I appreciate that. You have
it's
no
fun.
idea.
It's fun just to see, because like obviously I got to know you through Dancing with the Stars, but I didn't really know what it is that you actually do. And it is so fun to see the kids dancing or the different things that are happening in your studio. And so it is fun to follow along. Well, so I will tell you.
Good, thank you. You have no idea how much. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Did
you hear that, Matt? I'm going to make sure.
Yeah, there you go. Let them know. Matt, if you watch this, I want you to watch this specific part. Scroll to.
He gave me such a hard time. He's like, your social media presence is garbage. You need to do something about this.
Well, hey, there you go. Celebrate the small wins.
There you go. I'm loving it.
I love it.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'll make sure to put a description or a link in the description of that so that you guys can follow along with that. But otherwise, you guys, that is what we have for you. Thank you guys for joining us. Was that your phone? What's going on?
I think it might be my phone.
Oh, well, that's good. If you hear a little bit of background music.
That's our closeout.
Yeah, that's our closeout music. Time to go. You guys, thank you for joining us today. Have an awesome day and make sure to catch us on the next episode of the Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls Show. Bye, guys.